hold your poo. Shall I say that again? You can't hold your poo. Yeah. Even off was, my labour was quite uncomfortable, but it was quite short. It was a vaginal birth, so it was a natural birth. I did start out in the water, but eventually, had to come out and really just kind of push for dear life. When I say I pushed, I had third degree tear. I had a third degree tear.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I had to have that stitched up. But I think by the time you go through the labour and literally the labour, like giving birth and everything, you don't feel anything. You don't feel them injecting you with anaesthetic. You don't feel them sewing you up. You don't feel anything. I think for me, the only thing that I remember was seeing red raw flesh in the glasses of the surgeon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I couldn't feel a thing. Like, me and my husband, we were just talking about what we're gonna call the baby. Oh, what should we have for dinner? It was so relaxed. It was just like nothing. Like, I think my body still had quite a lot of adrenaline. So that was kind of more my experience. The one time it was painful, but I did have gas and air. And post birth, I guess, yeah, it was okay.
I think from my experience, I mean, I've been in labour 3 times. No, that's not true. I've been in labour 2 times. But the very first labour I ever experienced was actually what you call a stillbirth. So I actually had to go through the whole labour and actually give birth to the baby, even though the baby wasn't alive. And that was really, really painful as well. But I actually that was actually the only time I actually pushed and I felt contractions. But afterwards I carried on and had two other children, but this time I had planned cesarean, so I didn't have the whole wait for the contractions. I didn't have the whole labour pain. It was pretty much okay, try and push. And they induced me for my second son, so I had a little bit of labour pains, but because it wasn't going down the birth canal properly, I was then rushed into emergency cesarean. So before I blinked my eyes, he was out.
Wow.
And then with my last son, that was actually the most enjoyable delivery I had, because everything was planned. I knew when the baby was coming. I planned myself. I got to the hospital, and I think the only thing I didn't like was when they gave me the spinal injection, and that was really, really scary for me because I couldn't fathom the thought between a needle going in between my spine. Yeah. So
but I mean, what was that experience like emotionally for you? Because I know I can imagine. I can imagine the pain physically, but what was that emotional term? Like, I can't even imagine that pain you must have gone through, knowing that you were going through all that hard work, trying. And
yeah, it was really painful, really sad. I was in one room and I could hear other ladies giving birth to children. They're hearing the cry of their own child, and I knew that my own child, I wasn't going to hear the cry from it. And they then offered me to go home and then come back, which I then took that option. And then when I was ready to come back in, I came back in, and I practically had that time at home to pray, to recondition my mind, to tell myself, okay, you know what, it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. I need to pick myself back up, deliver this baby, and move on with my life. And that's basically what I did. And now today I have 2 healthy boys, and I'm so happy. So it's nice to it's an experience I've gone through, an experience I went through, and I can help other ladies that have been through that situation, because it isn't a nice thing. It's a very emotional thing, and you do go through depression, which is really strong, and you have to be able to self-motivate yourself, because you've got other people depending on you. So you staying in that little box is not helpful for you at all.
You have to kind of get up and live.
Yeah, you have to live. So, and that's basically what I did. So that labour experience that I have, I believe is going to be the same as if I was going into labour with a live child. It will still be the same similar pain because I still pushed. I still felt contractions, But yeah, so my other 2 children, I didn't have all of that. the cesarean, and that is even more painful.
Oh, is it?
Oh my goodness.
But I thought you were knocked out.
Yeah, but you have the stitches and you've got to heal.
Oh, yeah.
It's really painful.
Healing with cesarean takes longer, doesn't it?
It takes longer. Like, there was a point I was holding my baby. I was hearing my baby cry, and I couldn't get out of the bed to reach over because the stitches were so tight, so painful. You know, and I haven't really been lucky, you know, because the first one I got an infection because the doctors forgot to give me antibiotics. Imagine.
Nice.
They cut you open, they don't give you antibiotics. And I got an infection from that. And then the second one, I was bleeding internally, and so I had to go back into hospital, reopen myself so they can drain out the blood. And then, so the healing process was long. So those ladies who say, I want a cesarean, I don't understand why they want a cesarean. Why go through all that pain if you don't have to? If you can push. Don't opt out for a vaginal birth, because people think it's more painful to give birth to a vagina. I don't know.
I mean,
you've had a tear.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. But that's the thing, because even with the tear, I never really. There wasn't a point where that was painful, because when they were sewing me up, I knew they were sewing me up. Sounds so wrong, you know, and you can see that it's all just red and mushy, and you can see them trying to kind of clean up that area. But going to the toilet, it was fine.
Okay. You didn't get any sting?
There was no stinging. Oh, wow. That's what I always kind of imagined would happen. There was no stinging. But in all fairness, I was on a lot of water and a lot of fruit because I was scared of the stinging as well. Yeah. But what people don't talk about, fruit, when you have, well, I don't know if this happens when you have a cesarean, but definitely with vaginal births, incontinence. You can't hold your poo. You can't hold your poo. Shall I say that again? You can't hold your poo. Yeah, like, honestly, like, legit, you cannot hold your poo. Like, your farts, like, you're walking and it's just...
The one thing I definitely experienced, it's really embarrassing what I'm about to say, but the one thing I definitely experienced when I gave birth, vaginally, for the first one, I felt like I had a mobile phone vibrating in my vagina area.
What?
When I gave birth, yeah.
Afterwards,
like I had this sensation of vibration in me. You should Google it. You'll see people talking about it.
Well,
and I had no control.
Please leave comments. Did you feel the vibration inside? I want to know. Was it a pleasurable vibration?
No, it was actually quite irritating because I had no control over it. It was just a zzz.
Are you sure you weren't farting?
Literally, I had to Google it and say, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on? Basically, it was just trying to say to you that your body is contracting and going back to itself. Yeah. I was like, okay, right. So how long is this going to last for? How long?
Well, for me, so the bit that was the most painful after birth was I was just sore down there. Like, everything was just swollen and sore. And legit, you walk like John Wayne. Like, you walk like, you can't walk like, you walk like that. I don't know if I'm describing it properly, but you walk like a duck. Like, you can't, you waddle everywhere because it's so sore. So that only really lasted about a week. And that was the most painful thing following birth. Yeah, so I don't know how long the vibration lasted, but...
I think mine lasted for like a couple of days. Yeah. I remember I took some like, I don't know, my mum was just giving me some weird stuff, you know, like garlic and all this healthy stuff just to try and cleanse out my system and try and get my body back. And I did the whole sit on the bucket with hot water. Did you do that?
So basically in Nigeria we have this tradition where you there's hot boiling water, you sit over it, and the steam is supposed to kind of help that area heal. Yeah. And if I'm honest, I avoided that. I avoided it for so long, and mother-in-law was not having any of it. She was like, Nikki, where are you? Come on, sit down. Like, she really like kind of...
And you have to tie your tummy really tight.
Tie your tummy, everything. And actually, once I did sit down over the bucket with the steam, it really helped. Yeah. It really, really helps. Like, I honestly believe that once I did that, everything started happening a lot quicker. Yeah. So I really wish, I think now, if or when I have a second, I will do all that a lot. Because you pay their bills. Okay, when I do have the second, I'm definitely going to do that, like, literally the day I get home, because it helped everything so much quicker. Like, having that hot water press on my tummy helped with the blood flow, so a lot of that blood came out a lot quicker. My lips were not as swollen anymore. It really does help. So if you are worried about doing that post-birth, don't be worried. Obviously, don't burn yourself, don't get scalding hot water, but having that warm water press, that hot water press on your tummy.
It's really good.
It's really good. And then the hot water shower, it helps with the breast milk.
Yeah, that really helps.
Oh my gosh, trust me.
Trust me.
You will.
Okay, so have you heard of the flat nipple syndrome? So basically, like, you know, like when you want to breastfeed your baby, your nipples are usually out and erect, and then obviously baby can latch on, but then you might look at your nipple and you notice that your nipple is not erect anymore, it's flat and it's gone inside. They call it a flat syndrome. And basically you just have to like stimulate your nipple to bring it back out again. I don't know why your body does that, but I experienced that and it was really hard. And they basically said it's because I was breastfeeding on one side for too long, and that's why they was asking you
to nipple was running away from you. I don't want to do it anymore. I've never heard of that before, and actually that brings me back to my point. Not bringing me back, but it brings me to a point, which is literally, whether it's vaginal, whether it's cesarean, whether it's, what were the other forms?
Nipple flat syndrome.
Nipples syndrome. Everyone's experience is so different and so unique. So unique to them, exactly. It's unique to the child and it's unique to the mother.
Yeah.
And you know, you won't know what your experience is going to be like. Some people say they don't feel any pain because they meditated and they did. Some people say they do feel pain, some people need epidural, you know, so literally your experience is going to be so different regardless of whether, you know, you have vaginal or epidural or didn't have epidural. And I guess for me it's just about it's about being prepared or being open to the experience and just taking it as it comes, really.
Oh, and I think that people shouldn't watch
YouTube.
Born Every Minute, because you'll get scared. You get scared. I got scared.
Yeah. I mean, I used to enjoy it, and then actually, you're right, I did stop watching it because I just thought, nah, don't be hearing people screaming.
Give me the gas, give me the gas.
Danny, hold me hand. No, it's true. You just kind of want to go into it and just take it for what it is. And I think one tip that I read somewhere that really, really helped me, hand on heart, really helped me. For every minute. So basically, you're going to go through pain, but for every minute, you're only going to be in pain for about 5 seconds. So you have 55 seconds of relax, being cool, you're okay, you're all good. And I think for me, just having that in my mind was quite comforting.
Yeah.
Because actually, I can do 5 seconds. That's alright. I can do 5 seconds. That's not even a minute in half an hour, you know? That was kind of what I just told myself. And I think little tips like that may help, you know, other mummies.
I think that for someone who hasn't given birth before, if they want to experience what it feels like to give birth, there's this contraception. It's called the copper IUD. Do you know it? Yeah. Have you ever had that before?
No, never.
that is like giving birth. It's painful because they have to open the cervix to be able to put the contraception in the womb, and so you can imagine the baby's coming out of the womb through the cervix. And so that's the closest pain I can think of for someone who wants to know what labour pain feels like. Is that.
Well, listen, ladies, we're gonna leave it there for now. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for, you know, well, actually, not yet. I'm not going to thank you yet. Join the conversation. Get on the Instagram, get on the Facebook. Let us know what you think. Leave comments below. Like, subscribe, you know, do all that jazz. But let us know what you think. Let us know what your labour pains were like. Let us know what advice or tips, you know, helped you through your situation. And also, if you've had a stillborn as well, like, share your story. Let us know how you got through it, because it's not easy, and your mental health is a big deal, and this is one of those things that actually can trigger it. So let us know how you got through it, and you know, if there's anything that you think we should let other people know as well, other mummies who might be going through it. But you know, thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, you subscribe, make sure you follow Sarah, and make sure you follow 4 Wives and a Mic.
Yay!
Thank you guys. Bye.